Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
You're listening to The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the very ragged, raw, leading edge of friggin' civility. That ain't strictly so. So, welcome everyone to episode 16 of The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the edge of civility. Proud partners with Kurtz Comics.
Remember,
In Connecticut, it's Kurtz. I'm your almost host, the Tech Jedi. With me as ever, much to my chagrin, is the ever acerbic, somewhat sardonic Reverend Mad Duck.
Bless you, fuckers. Now I
And
say
there
that
we
with
go.
due civility.
We got some interesting things happening this week at the Mean Geek.
Do we?
We do, in fact.
Mail, motherfucker.
We have finally, against all fucking odds, given away that Punisher Warzone Return of Manucci #1.
You mean someone wrote in?
Somebody wrote in. It's fabulous. And his name is John Cadotte from Wisconsin. We're very happy that he was around and listening to us. Keep it up, Bubba.
Wow.
Write some more. Tell your
Someone
buds.
from Wisconsin has heard of us.
Yeah, imagine there's people in Wisconsin that read comics.
Imagine there are people in Wisconsin.
Well, that's not that hard. Beer has to come from somewhere.
I always thought that was just a moose-filled state.
That's Maine, man.
Now, what did John say when he wrote in?
John said that he's been listening for quite a while now, almost the beginning. He appreciates the humor and fuck furries.
Wow, John is like his soulmate.
Maybe we'll get him on Skype one night and record with him. Who knows? What? What are you looking at me for?
Skype?
Now I'll explain that later. Even though I've already explained it to you twice.
Twice?
Twice.
Really?
While a geek, the Rev is also a Luddite, so never mind. And we have a brand spanking new international friend on Comic Space.
Really?
Yes, Holly Lang, creator of the Terra comic on the web. Homed in at www.terra-comic.com, TERRA-comic.com, which at the moment is a top 100 webcomic, as voted by whoever the fuck votes
on
those
that kind of
things.
thing. So, now, and I don't want this to go the wrong way because I get confused sometimes, but how am I friends with Holly when I've never heard of her?
The Mean Geek is friends with her.
Oh, she likes us.
Well, it's Comic Space, frankly, is the MySpace of the insular and very small comics community.
Never been on it.
So, well, unless you were looking for it, you would never. I mean, you're not a big social networker to begin with, so
That's
that would never
true.
cover
I've been
it.
sociable, but it doesn't go over well.
But networking sounds too much like work to you, so.
I don't like that word.
I do, because I'm a computer guy. So, having established our various shout-outs.
Thank you, Holly, or Miss Lang, if you're into the whole non-brevity thing.
Check us out. Leave a comment with a real email. We'll send you a official. Hit the fucking pause button. An official
Edit.
340. We'll send you an official Mean Geek T-shirt with our own specialized little slogan that the Rev came up with himself, which is
Light side, dark side.
It's all about the backside. Wear it proudly at your next con.
And I'm sure yours is phenomenal, Holly. Here's
Oh.
looking out to you.
Oh, you don't want to alienate one fan already, man.
We have one fan.
You're killing half our fucking establishment, man. 50%. Don't do you know what? Just do. Just
50% of
go
the
ahead.
world
Go
is
ahead.
female. 50% of our comic listening base is not.
Well, which is why you don't want to alienate her.
Wow, you really think it'd alienate somebody to say they have a good ass?
Well, when you don't know them, you know what? Let's jump into the pile. No, one more bit of news before the pilot.
I'm sorry, Miss Holly.
We've started negotiations with Kineticon.
Kineta what?
Kineticon, which we discussed last week. If you had a memory, Rev.
I was like when Kirk said that. Kinetica!
Alright, that's exactly enough of that.
That's the low end of humor. I won't do that again, I promise. I lie.
So, we found out table prices.
And?
Cabo is very down with it. We're just trying to see if we got to be there the entire goddamn weekend to be surrounded by anime cosplayers, or if we can get away with a Saturday.
Or a Sunday, since I'm not available on Saturday.
Well, either way. You don't want to drive up to Hartford, no how.
You are not wrong.
Right. Now we can get into the pile.
Yay, us.
So lots of cool stuff. We're moving up
I
in
almost
the universe.
forgot.
Yes.
Hey, kids. It's the Rev here. It turns out that the Tech Jedi
Uh-oh.
does not know how to make
hell.
a message board. So if you were to write lots of emails in, he'd have to learn so that you could have your own Mean Geek message board.
But remember, we are on the comicforums.com, hosted by the inimitable Comic Geek Speak group, with many other wondrous and long-winded podcasts available to listen to as well.
But the more you send in, the more he has to make his
That's
own
great, Rev.
message
Make me
board.
work. That's okay. You jag off. Edge of civility. Edge of civility.
I think you slipped over the edge there, sir.
Well, it could be. As a quick reminder, since I'm half in the bag, I'm not remembering these things as I should, and The Matrix is on TV, and I can see titties. We're on Podcast Alley and iTunes. Don't forget. So, Dark Avengers, Uncanny X-Men, Utopia.
Utopia!
We're talking about a little interspecies riot in San Francisco here.
Not the first time that has happened.
Yeah, well, that depends on your idea of species. This is quite literal in this respect. Edge of civility, I'm telling you. So, yeah, they go out there and they have a face-off in the middle of the town square, wherever the hell this is. And it was actually quite nice the way they put this one together, because they introduced characters. I had no idea who the fuck they were.
Such as
Megan Gwynn being Pixie, who is very fairy-ish.
I believe Pixie has shown up before.
Yeah, but not in an X-Men I've read. Julian Keller, Hellion, telekinetic with anger issues. What mutant doesn't have anger issues?
Beast.
Well, yes, Beast is a rather civil man thing. So, what are you going to do?
Dude, didn't all sorts of mutants lose their powers so there were less mutants floating around? Wasn't that the whole point of Magneto eating their brains? And
No, that wasn't Magneto. That was M-Day.
yeah, but didn't they end up in Magneto's head while he was freaking out in an island filled with dead people? Wasn't that the whole Bendis Avengers storyline?
That was just the Genosians.
With the
Because there were
superpowered...
so many of them concentrated in one area. Now, there's really supposed to be, the last time I read in a official census, there was supposed to be less than 1,000 mutants running around the planet. Most of them going to be X-Men, otherwise you don't have anything to write about.
Well, plus the fact that there are about 278 X-Men at any given time.
Yes. So, old Trask here, up to his old tricks.
With a younger face, though.
Huh?
He looked much younger.
Yeah, well, he might be another Trask. I don't know. I don't know who this armor person is.
I mean, who do we
And
take
it's
to
nice that
Trask
they-
about this kind of thing?
What?
Who do we take to Trask about this kind of thing?
I hate your puns. I really do. They're just, you can't. You know what? Fuck you. So there's a whole lot of talky debates going on. And the mayor is like, get your shit together, Scott. I'm mayor when you're in my office. I'm suddenly everything's official. Norman Osborn, of course, gets on the news, tells everybody everything's going to be just fine if the X-Men just back the fuck down. And, yeah, riots everywhere. Dark Avengers. Did we dig it? It was passable.
It was not bad. I mean, art was solid. Matt Fraction is a decent writer. My question is, first off, as I don't read the X-Men, or comics that you don't give me, when did Scott leave Jean to bang the White Queen on a regular basis?
That apparently was several years ago.
Madness.
That was even before Whedon's astonishing run, because I found...
Was Whedon's run really astonishing?
It was okay, you know. It was X-Men, and I had soured on those 12 years ago, so 14 years ago. You know, with Onslaught, I was like, you know what? I'm done.
I remember Onslaught. Not fondly, of course, but I do remember it.
Now, anybody who tells you they remember Onslaught favorably is lying out their ass.
Kids, feel free to write in and request a message board where you can discuss.
Go right ahead. Come on. Do it.
We are mailing out a comic book already signed.
Not by anybody important, but you can say you have a signed comic book.
So, alright, well that answers that. No, it was a passable story. I just don't care about X-Men. I don't. I'm sorry. And I feel bad because they're iconic and whatnot, and Wolverine is in every 3 issues of everything to this day. He's an X-Men. He's an Avenger. I believe he served with Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos at one point as Ice Cream Wolverine. But
Ice Cream Wolverine.
It's just madness. They're introducing 45 new mutants. You know, Hi, we're triplets, and we all think alike and wear blonde and bow tie. It's just ridiculous. Pixies, things that look like birds with the name The Beak from that strange X-Men run. I don't get it. I don't understand mutants anymore.
That's Silvestri. Was it interesting to see Silvestri back?
It was. I think Silvestri is a very underrated artist to this day. And despite the fact that how huge he was at the time, if you go back to his run on X-Men back in the day, phenomenal artist. Just the kind of guy that you want drawing a book.
And I'll tell you this.
As long as it doesn't involve the words Ripclaw.
Right. Just fuck a Ripclaw. I'll tell you this. Dark Miss Marvel? Bad out.
And again, we break it down to your lowest common denominator. Yes, it's the mean geek at the edge of poontang when it comes to this kind of thing.
So now we have our little turnabout, like any good professional wrestling bout. Emma Frost talks to Norman, and because they're part of the Cabal,
which is
otherwise
in its entirety
known as the Dark Illuminati,
which is Loki,
Namor, Doctor Doom, Norman Osborn, Emma Frost.
Right.
Emma Frost.
Yep.
Emma Frost.
All right, shut up. Now, who's the non-Dark Illuminati?
Well, Reed, Iron Man, Doctor Strange. Drawing a fucking blank there. Pym?
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, Reed.
Oh, sorry. All right. Go. You said Reed?
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange. Namor.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's playing both fields.
And Black Bolt, was it not?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to remember because he doesn't talk.
Right. Which is kind of irritating.
But, and then, of course, in Bendis's
Goddamn.
Avengers of Fury, you've got the Hydra Illuminati, whatever the hell that is, with its own little 5.
Yeah, I ain't touching that one.
Circles upon circles.
Worlds within worlds within worlds, Mr. Kirby.
Simpson, you're diabolic.
To borrow a Surfer reference.
Or a Simpsons reference in my case.
So she's a member of the Cabal, so She gets her marching orders from Norman and swaps over to do some incredibly sexy black latex.
You're a filth monger.
More face palms. Look at him go. We're going to do a video podcast just so people can see you face palm.
Super. Where is the I miss the Black King and the White King.
The original Hellfire Club.
Where's Shaw?
You really don't miss Leland, though. I know you don't.
Love Leland.
Get the fuck out of here with this.
The Black Bishop? Come on!
Get out. You are a liar.
He made things heavy or light. He had a beard and a heart attack. What's not to love?
Heavy. I can't remember. I can't believe you remember how he died.
You kidding? You know who drew it?
Yeah, it was J.R.J.R.
And
of course, you're gonna remember everything J.R.J.R. did.
Had his very first issue in the collection I sold you. Iron Man 115, I believe.
Something like that. So that leads us not even close, but
now, are you excited where the storyline is going before we move on?
I don't know about excited, but I'm definitely. I read the next one, which is in the batch I gave you tonight,
and
I want to see it end. Not in a holy Christ, will it please end kind of way, but in a this really could be interesting if they just keep going and mount the tension and really ramp it up.
Now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You buy a lot of books.
Yeah.
I buy none.
Yeah.
It's not
going to make me pick up X-Men.
Would you buy a Dark X-Men based on where it's going thus far?
If they could keep Fraction on it, probably.
Really? All right, so that's a huge thing then.
Yes.
So the second issue is big then.
I was incredibly impressed with Fraction's Iron Man. And I liked this enough, and the next one kept me interested enough, so if they finish Utopia and start a Dark X-Men, but they keep Fraction, I will do that one.
Now, if they don't keep Fraction, is it good enough for you to buy at least the first issue to see how it goes?
I will more than likely read it in the store. And if I can dig on it, I will buy it right then and there.
All right. Now, do you have any hints as to who's going to be a Dark X-Men?
Not just yet. Obviously Emma, because she's already on his side in the Cabal, and she changed outfits under his marching orders. So that's what we got for that. More Dark Reign tie-ins with Nick Fury, Agent of Nothing, number 5. I didn't really catch where they were going at first, and then there was that little betrayal when...
Let's hear it for Eric Koenig, ex-Nazi pilot, now 207-year-old spy. My Lord, I can't even say it.
Howling Commandos only retire when they're good and damn ready. That sounds like something right out of Nick's own mouth.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the point.
When you read that, you knew this was his boy.
Except you knew that Eric Koenig shot that dude while wearing an adult diaper, because he's 75 goddamn years old at the least.
Well, he was Howling Commando. He was in World War II. Yeah, he's way the fuck up there. But, like, everybody that Fury ever hung out with and trusted got the Eternity formula, so,
I thought it was just him and Dum Dum.
Well, clearly it was one more.
Well, several more, because Gabe and the ever unpopular Jasper Sitwell have made their appearance.
Like Dum Dum talking to everybody like, they were brand new recruits, and the new guys not believing they can do any of this shit. Clearly, they haven't been hanging around with Nick and Dum Dum long.
Well, that's because whenever Nick and Dum Dum do this kind of thing, they do it, but everybody hanging around dies.
But, that's what you get. All they really need is red shirts.
Why, is that the shield color?
No, the shield color is blue. The red shirts were from Star Trek.
Star who?
Trek.
Huh?
You know Star Trek. Don't try. Every time they beam down somewhere, Anybody wearing red fucking died. Scotty never went anywhere. He wore red. He didn't die.
I always
Every
found that
time they
confusing.
beam down with, well, we're not getting into that. Star Trek uniform colors are not something I want to deal with tonight.
Or ever.
So, yeah, there's an assault on the dock. They're trying to get a bunch of helicarriers back. And who should show up? Hydra's little cabal.
Ah.
With the squid guy and
The weird
samurai
guy.
and the other guy with the helmety horn.
No
thing.
Madam Hydra or Viper or anybody we've heard of. No. It's the
Yeah.
B Squad.
They could have at least brought Viper.
Nope.
You know?
Nope. It's Samurai Jack and Shrimp Face to the rescue.
So now they got. I mean, it looks like Starro made an appearance. What are these things on their fucking heads?
I have no idea. I don't speak Bendis.
Nobody speaks Bendis.
No, but here's my thing. And
Are you gonna kill him? Yeah. Should we? Yeah. So we're gonna kill him. Yeah.
You and your multiple repeating
That's Bendis dialogue, man. You
but-
can't tell me that you don't recognize that as Bendis dialogue.
Yeah, I recognize it as you making fun of Bendis dialogue.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? So yeah,
I was
fucking
all
squid
excited.
things on the head, man.
I was all excited. He was bringing back the old school characters. I was pretty pleased about it. And then
Yeah,
they don't even make a full issue before it goes right back to Teenage Super Shield. With the 9-year-old, I'm an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the God of Fear and...
to be fair, they did wait till the last page before they brought in the caterpillars.
Dude, you saw Dum Dum twice.
Yeah, no, I'm sure
He
he'll be-
wears a derby. Why is that not more awesome?
I'm sure he'll be brought further into the fold. Nick knows he can trust him. Alright, you clearly have nothing else to say on that one.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed the read thus far. It's building interestingly, but much like Nick Fury's battle plans, it jumps randomly from madness to madness, and it's difficult to follow. The things I want to see happen generally don't, and no one other than Fury looks decent ever. Plus, we have the death of Jasper Sitwell, a man who's been around since the 60s, and no one cares.
Well, I'm sure they'll have some kind of memorial for him in the next 3-4 issues. I couldn't believe that Nick wouldn't do something for him. At any rate, more Bendis goodness. Dark Avengers 6. It's been half a fucking year since this came out. You believe that shit?
It's madness.
Where do we start here? An Atlantean terrorist cell has shown up. Because that's what we needed. More lame-ass Atlanteans.
Hey, you are the biggest Atlantis Attacks fan I've ever met.
Which is not saying a whole shitload, because I hate it, and I'm the only one you've ever met. No one else has ever admitted to reading Atlantis Attacks. Kids, if you can tell us the year that Atlantis Attacks comes out...
1954.
You are incorrect, sir.
I don't want a comic signed by me then.
So, yeah, they're having a cabal meeting in Avengers Tower, New York City. And Namor comes in. They got their little darkened room going. And he shows them a little hologram of Atlantean terrorists. And Namor translates. And he's like, Doom. Doom's like, so? You don't care? Say something.
Why would he care? His name is Doom.
Yes. Why would he care? His name is Doom. You're not really helping me out on this book.
Hey, I'm just saying. You know, if you want sensitivity, don't go to a guy whose name is actually Dr. Doom. Alright? If you can find Dr. Fluffy Puppy, then go right ahead.
Oh, all right. No more furries. Dr. Fluffy Puppy. I am absolutely certain someone out there is a furry calling himself Dr. Furry Puppy.
I'm sure.
Fluffy Puppy.
I fully believe that you're certain of that. Was he gentle?
Oh. You suck. So, Norm shows a little more signs of cracking in this one.
Norm is cracking
A
like a
little bit
cheap
more.
vase in an oven.
Namor's like, they're not my subjects anymore. I don't have a fucking kingdom. What do you want me to do? Why should I do what you tell me to? Because I told you so. I'm Norman. Meh.
I don't think they wrote it quite that way. Dude, Namor is the most heroic douchebag ever. Like, I believe in good and justice, and fuck all of you. My wings are not dry enough yet to fly.
So, obviously Norm comes back with, I'm in charge. And Namor is like, not of me. We're a group. You ain't in charge. And then he calms down. They have a little back and forth there. They're both very imperious and crazy. And this is how I like my Namor. A
Nuts.
big fat douche.
He is a douche. He is a bag of douche. If you had a bag and you wanted to fill it with douche, you'd be like, Namor, get the fuck over here and jump in this bag. And then he would punch you with his wing-footed feet. Which should be a kick, but he's a mutant, so he can punch with them. That's how fucking douchey he is. I am not pro Namor. I've been very clear on this.
So, the rest of the Dark Avengers are having breakfast, it appears. Yes, I see eggs. And, they can't figure out where Novar is. And we find out that
That
the
Kree
former
smoking bastard.
Moonstone is giving it up for him.
Actually, the way I read it, I believe that he was giving it up for Moonstone. Like,
Either
lie
way.
there and take it, sir.
Hey, whatever it takes. You gotta bust that nut, right?
You are a filthy comic fan.
There had to be one somewhere, you knew it.
How many cherry Pop-Tarts do you own?
I own absolutely none. Not a one. No Omaha the Cat Dancers either.
Well, that's furry. That's totally different.
So they bring in the Sentry, and they tell him he should go get the Atlanteans. So he's like, okay. Jets off. And, holy crap, he lays waste.
Well, he's told to kill all but one.
Yeah.
He's told to bring out the Void. Here's my major problem with this at this point. Is that Paul Jenkins' The Sentry is one of my all-time favorite miniseries. Love the writing, love the concept, love what they did with it, love their fake April Fools, Stan Lee created me Sentryness. And now they're turning him into a multi-personality dork who can't change his drawers without checking with 3 different people.
So he picks his last one. He kills the rest of them, ostensibly. But of course, he was an original Avenger, so he probably didn't. We'll find out in 6 months. But he takes the blue-skinned Atlantean and he puts him in with Gargan Venom, who promptly chows the fuck down on him.
Just like sushi.
So, and last page, we find another bit of Norman cracking.
You know what the funniest part about that is, though?
How much further do you think this is going to last?
He's going to go within the next 6 issues. Is that it breaks down into scorpion venom.
Scorpion Venom. Is that more puns?
Not mine.
You're a maniac. New Avengers 53 and 54, where we are revealed,
The new Sorcerer Supreme.
and it's insane. Brother fucking Voodoo. Who'd have thunk it?
Dude, why do they got to crap
Would
all
you have
over
picked?
Doctor Strange?
Would you have picked Dr. Voodoo?
First off,
Brother Voodoo?
your magic-based characters in the Marvel Universe generally suck.
Yeah, there's almost no mystic component to the Marvel universe.
Hellstrom.
And I don't really miss that, actually.
I actually enjoyed Doctor Strange back in the day, but
What, way the fuck back with Gene Colan?
everything Gene Colan touches is art, sir.
72 to whatever the hell it was? Most of our listeners don't even know what 72 is. They're like, what? Another century? Huh?
The year I was born. I was brought in the world in 1972.
Yeah, well.
You ain't gonna have a bite of my sandwich.
What?
The Richard Pryor reference.
Give me a bite of that sandwich.
There you go.
I first met God back in 1929. I was walking down the street
There it
eating
is.
a tuna fish sandwich.
Now,
And I hear this awesome voice coming outside from the alleyway. And I thought, it must be God. And the voice said unto me, give me a bite of that sandwich.
you've gone far too far. Yet again. That which I bring to you, you should not waste, sir. Alright, so, Brother Voodoo is now the Sorcerer Supreme. Hellstorm didn't get it. Agatha Harkness didn't get it.
Agatha Harkness has been dead and resurrected 4 times. She couldn't have it.
Well, really, what better way to prove I'm a mystical genius? Baron
Than to
Mordo
resurrect
is no
3
more. The whole concept is ridiculous.
Well,
Ridiculous.
but then they have this, they contain Dormammu, who is supposed to be this unstoppable demon. Well, at least in his own dimension. So you figure he'd, be pretty badass when he came here.
I could have sworn he was never a demon. Like, when did that happen?
Well, that's a very good question. Well, he's a demon now. So, unspoken retcons aside,
Yes.
he seems to be a pretty poor demon for his reputation in
Yeah.
this issue.
For the record, the Reverend Mad Duck is now a demon. So, snooze. I've been retconned. Garbage.
I mean, they took down Dormammu with a pentagram and Cap's shield. And everybody else just standing around going, woo! A couple of venom blasts from the, Jessica Drew. And maybe it was me, but I've never noticed that her venom blasts were all that powerful. Why would she bother?
I don't believe that her Venom Blast has ever kicked the ass of anybody who didn't get their ass kicked by Iron Fist. Like, that's how low on the hero totem the Venom Blast is.
I mean, even Mockingbird gets into it. She gives him a flying jump kick, and he just, the next page is just him glaring. So obviously he didn't really care for that or about it. So they finally,
When Mockingbird kicks your
banish
ass,
his
you're the
dumbass
porcupine.
again. You're the porcupine?
The
Or a
por-
porcupine? Because who couldn't kick the porcupine's ass?
Now, and sadly, Porcupine, one of my all-time favorite villains.
You're an insane person. They finally banish him. And there's a little conversation there. And Clint Barton gets on the TV again, saying, hey, did you see that? We're good guys. Woo!
To paraphrase Mr. Magoo, news whore!
But then we bring in what's his face? No, Loki. He comes in and he talks to Parker, the Hood.
When did he stop being a chick, by the way?
Stop? He hasn't yet.
I thought he was Sif, and yet Sif showed up in the last issue of Straczynski's.
Well, we're still working on that. That one's in this pile. So, obviously, New Avengers 54 came before Thor 602. But, she offers, hermaphroditic Loki offers the Hood another chance.
Hermaphrodite.
And, of course, he takes it. And Clint finally decides he has had precisely enough of Norman Osborn and notes that they're going to whack him.
Clint is an idiot.
Yes. Not only that, but it's not likely to bloody happen. He can try. But what kind of arrow is he going to bring up against the Iron Patriot?
I'm sorry, but Clint Barton has made less decent decisions about his life plan than I have. And I'm sitting here on a work night talking about comics drunk. The only thing to be said in my favor is I'm not dressed in purple.
There was somebody dressed in purple tonight?
Well, Clint Barton, generally.
Yeah. Well, Hawkeye now, but... So, more Dark Reign, more Norman Osborn. In Goblinitas Part 4.
We did learn her name is actually Menace in this one. Although
Menace/Lily.
I tend to stand by Goblinita.
Yeah, well... Wow. Can this thing get any stranger right now?
I wrote a poem about her.
You did not.
I did.
Do we have to hear the poem?
Goblinita, oh Goblinita, Harry Osborn wants to eat you.
Fuck. Oh my god. Did you really just do that?
I believe you wanted to say, oh my Goblinita.
Oh. Wow. So, Harry is offered his own suit of armor to be the American Son.
Strike that.
What?
Norman.
Harry is offered his own
Oh,
suit
it
of
is
armor.
offered. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. Yes, he can be, which is the gayest name ever. Like, I'm the superhero American Son. Really?
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. So, Pete's being tortured some more. He's got the James Bond laser going up at his head.
Yeah, why not just take the mask off and beat the piss out of him? I don't get this.
Well, no, they couldn't take the mask off because it's unstable molecules that Sue gave him from Reed. So they can't take it off.
They gave them molecules.
Unstable molecules. Just like the Fantastic Four's uniforms. And why does Sue keep getting hotter and hotter?
Well, you remember John Byrne's whole theory when he was drawing Fantastic Four is that Sue Storm is the hottest woman in the entire Marvel Universe.
I would think she should be probably the model of Marvel heroines, but I don't necessarily think that she should be a model doing that.
Well, I'm just quoting John Byrne. I mean,
yeah, well,
your whole "this is the hottest Marvel superheroine" I find creepy. So
I didn't say she was. I said she's getting hotter and hotter all the time. It's weird.
It's getting hot in here.
So Hawkeye comes in and he's gonna Hawkeye / Bullseye,
or as I like to call him, Bullhawk.
Bullhawk, yes. He's gonna do a little torture on old Petey, and he whips out one of his bone mows. Yeah, so what's the magic word? Bull. Sayasad. Oosh. Say it all together. Bullseye-zadoosh.
Wow. For the record, I can't even get you to fall for that joke. Oh my God, AJ a douche.
This story, man. Are we done with it? Because I'm not.
There's one more coming. Harry is about to be puts the armor on to save Peter, who he doesn't know is Peter. The whole thing's ridiculous. And it turns out Goblinita's been a lion super whore.
Yeah, it's his fucking brother because it's Norm's kid.
Which is just gross.
Yeah.
I don't need any more kids born with ridges in their hair.
Why didn't he just take Normie? I mean, he could have. Norman Osborn could have gone ahead and, taken the the New York Department of Children and Families, and just said, yeah, I don't think Harry's a good enough father, and Liz isn't a good enough mother, and give me the kid. They'd have done it, because everybody's scared shitless of Norm.
It's a valid point. It would have been more logical than this little giant plan.
Yeah, because, blech. There seemed to be a bunch of promise to this, and there's a good fight at the end, but it's just no more fucking goblin people variations. Jesus Christ. I mean, even if she is green-skinned and hot, I don't care.
I'm just hoping she has a girl so it can be Goblinita Jr.
Okay, that's just dumb.
As opposed to the rest of it?
Well, that's even dumber. Just pile dumb on top of dumb does not suddenly validate the original dumb.
Just imagine, if you will, let's go ahead a couple of years.
A world without religion?
Thank you, John Lennon. Spider-Man fighting a 5-year-old Goblinita.
I am not imagining that.
On her own little mini
I'm totally not imagining
bat glider.
Toddler on a bat glider.
With its training wings. I would buy that issue.
I'm entranced with. Now, we're going to move on, thank you very much, because that was just too much to be dealt with. The Paul Dini book I was looking for in Streets of Gotham finally showed up with Gotham City Sirens.
And why? Because the one character Paul Dini loves to write,
Harley Goddamn Quinn. Who's this Bone Blaster idiot? Couldn't they pull out of somebody else? Killer Moth?
Yeah, Cavalier.
Cavalier, oh my god.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that have worked?
That would have worked a lot better than this, wannabe, never to be. You can't even say has been, because this is his first fucking mission.
Never was. I got gloves that break bones, baby.
Yeah, and I got plants that'll cram themselves up your ass, says Poison Ivy. So, she takes him out. She's been hijacking poor Edward Nygma's apartment with the mind control Ivy.
I didn't like that, and let me explain. Because it really bothered me. Is that after Hush, the whole idea of recreating Riddler as a player in the Batman universe had really made a point. And they found that, for the most part.
Yeah.
Here you have Riddler as one of the, instead of being, a side, jokey character, now he's a top guy.
Right.
But here's something...
And it took long enough to get him there.
Yeah, well, to be fair, when he came... Originally, he was a top guy when they were all jackasses. But then when it got semi-serious, Riddler was demoted to the... I like to play cards with the Mad Hatter. So they move him back into top role position, and this just seemed to knock him considerably down.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I was like, and how did it happen? I mean, Nygma had to have been smarter than that, even with Ivy.
My whole thing with this is that it felt like, and this is both my compliment and my criticism of Paul Dini, it felt like a Batman Adventures cartoon. Yeah. Poison Ivy takes over Edward Nygma's apartment is something right out of Adventures, not the current Batman.
Ugh.
Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're incorrect in this. What'd you think of Ivy suddenly growing into the hot tub in Zatanna's place?
Weird. All I could think of was Swamp Thing, quite honestly, which made me uncomfortable.
Yay for Kitty. That sounds like Harley fucking Quinn to me.
No, obviously Paul Dini writes Harley Quinn better than anyone, for obvious reasons, like he wrote her.
She ended up being very big. I saw a lot of Harley Quinns running around the conventions.
It's a character that connects with people.
And did you like the art?
I did enjoy the art. I didn't even enjoy the writing. I just did not like the Riddler usage, and they tried to salvage it even slightly with him beating the crap out of Bone Blaster with his Riddle cane, which I believe I took once when I had a cold, so I'm not really too...
And
No,
of course...
of the two Paul Dini books, I was a much bigger fan
Yes.
of this one than I was the other.
But then, of course, they end it with that old trope. Let's make her talk about who Batman is.
No, she's just going to tell him Hugo Strange, obviously.
Well, I hope so. I would be pleased with that. I would enjoy that immensely. So,
But of the new Batman books,
that's relatively promising. Greg Rucka takes over on Detective,
which is a great choice.
bringing in the new Batwoman, who premiered in 52, but I gave up on 52 because of economic reasons before she actually showed up. So this is a whole new introduction to her for me.
Didn't make a lick of goddamn sense.
It probably will eventually. But
Felt too much like Huntress.
yeah, I can see that. But what do you think of J.H. Williams, huh?
Loved it.
Yeah, he's some good stuff right there. And I rarely care too much about the coloring, but this guy here, man.
Beautiful, beautiful book.
Dave Stewart, he knows what he's doing with this stuff.
It still felt like the damn Huntress, so.
Yeah, but we don't know that. You and I don't know the rest of her backstory or anything about her really from this here. So we're essentially tripping right into her mythos. Well, we'll learn about her. We'll probably grow to, well,
Tolerate.
yeah, I'll deal with it quite well. It doesn't really bother me that she is what she is, to be almost PC. The whole goth thing with the black eyes irritated me, though.
She digs the Chiquitas.
Yes, she does. Which in itself is no big deal, but it's this visual with the black eyes that irritates me. I don't like looking at women like that because it always makes me think they've been smacked around. I can't deal with that.
Well, I mean, who's going to smack around bat flannel?
Well, it's, knowing that is one thing. But the training from her pop, huh?
A tad crazy.
Well, there's been plenty of comic characters who've been trained by their pops.
Lana Lang.
Lana Lang?
I was testing you. Lois Lane's sister.
Lucy Lane.
There you go.
But this could be good.
No, I like the writer. I like the art. I am at least intrigued, but honestly, you could have taken Batwoman out and put Huntress in, had exactly the same storyline, except with less lesbian origins. But the further adventures, let me amend that, adventurers
stop
of
that.
Bat Flannel.
That's just goofy now. There was no need for that bit of weirdness. What the hell is with this little Coven Cabal thing? You know what? Never mind.
You go back to the mid-'70s, though, and there was a much more mystical quality to Batman with his teaming up with the gargoyle and the demon all the time.
Well, what are you going to do?
No, I'm very intrigued with where it goes.
I want to know what these little rounds are that were so special that she's going to pop this, this albino chick with. Because she's not going to kill him.
Her?
It. Tell you the truth, absolutely did not give a flying fuck about Montoya as the question. Didn't matter to me, didn't intrigue me. I got nothing for it.
Yes, but did you ever care about the question when it was the question?
No. And I don't really know if I care that I got supposedly extra story pages out of, a $3.99 book or not. Because, if I'm not going to read it, if I'm not going to care about it, why should it matter that it's, extra pages?
The back of feature is a
4,
classic.
5, 6, 7, 8. This is just 8 pages. These things aren't even numbered anymore, so I don't know if it's 22 in the front. Could be.
It's just a flashback to the old Nemesis days in Brave and the Bold.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. Actually, yeah, so this would be a good sized book for the price, even without the backup. So don't make me read the question.
I am not. Did read the question back in the day. Didn't like it. Not dying to read it again.
So we take a complete turnaround from the street level to the intergalactic with Green Lantern 41 and 42. The Guardian's secret pact revealed. They negotiate with Larfleeze, the Agent Orange. Right? What are you hee-hee-heeing?
Larfleeze, the Agent Orange. How can you not laugh at that?
So he takes the hand just to get the ring in 41, which was rather shocking to start off with. And then it turns out the ring has wants absolutely nothing to do with the agent.
Well, to be fair, he also didn't actually get the hand. It was an illusion.
Well, that too. And Hal creates a bunch of constructs just like Larfleeze does. And of course, he goes nuts.
Which is what Hal does best.
Yep. Now, what a change of pace here. You're in a big battle. You're about to start a big battle with Agent Orange. And then you're like, hey, John, Fatality, how are you? Let's watch you make out for a bit.
Ugh.
But this month, man, the next couple of weeks, it all starts.
When is Blackest Night actually happening?
It's either this week or next week.
Madness.
This week being the 9th of July. So, I don't know if it's this week or next, but Hal gets a hold of the battery, and it's trying to convince him that he should be the Agent Orange. Larfleeze rips it back away from him and tries to induct him into the Orange Corps, which isn't okay, sure.
Well, the only way to get inducted is really to get killed and then recreated. Right. Not really much of a membership drive.
But Hal, being the supreme GL that he is, fights back. And the Blue Ring decides, fuck it, I'll go find another host. And zips off across the universe. And they cut a deal with... Wow, that's a long pause. They cut a deal with the Guardians, between the Guardians and Agent Orange.
Dude, have you ever noticed that the Guardians have never made a beneficial deal in their entire life?
Absolutely not. Every time they try to cut a deal. And,
everything the Guardians do long term has all the planning capability of taking away the McRib. Like, it just honestly backfires horrendously every single time.
So, strangely, yeah, this is a bad deal. The Guardians tell him where to find a blue ring, sends him up against Saint Walker and
Ganesha.
Lord Ganesha, the mighty Hindu elephant god with a blue ring. And we're going to see Saeed and Ganthet and the rest of the Blue Lanterns go to town on the constructs. Maybe.
Perhaps.
Hard to tell where that little bit's going to go. And then they have an epilogue where they find the Black Lantern itself, which we find out is a tomb.
But for who?
And that is a really good question. A tomb for whom? It's hard to tell who that's going to be. Considering where they were looking and what they found before they found the Black Lantern itself, it might be the zombie Anti-Monitor.
It's a possibility. I have my own theory.
What's that?
Zool.
Okay.
There is no Jordan, only Zool.
Exactly.
I was
Guy Garden as the key master.
but who's the gatekeeper? Fatality.
There you go.
Justice League, which should be McDuffie's last arc here, if I'm remembering properly. Starbreaker and Dharma finally throw down, kinda. Dharma did Dharma do anything in here?
Well, he got his
Just hardware
throat
and icon,
slit.
right? He did what?
He got his throat slit.
Well, yeah, that was in the first half.
Yes.
And then the second.
Leaking out the fabric of the universe, if you will.
Dr. Light escapes from the Shadow Thief, which couldn't have been too fucking difficult because it's the goddamn Shadow Thief.
Ah, but it's a new and evil Shadow Thief.
Well, he's always been evil. What's so new about him?
He's more evil.
He's not as dumb, so he doesn't get caught as quickly?
He's a living shadow now, thanks to Underworld Unleashed back in the day.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yes, then you thought of it. And Neuron. Poor Carl Sands had a shadow costume. Now he's a totally different douchebag.
I really don't care about Carl Sands.
But you don't care about Dharma or anybody else.
No, I really don't.
As much as I like seeing hardware in comic books again.
You know, and this kind of irritated me. He finally killed the Starbreaker. Paladin kills the Starbreaker with a bullet that weighs 70 pounds from his handheld railgun.
Seems a tad unlikely.
Yeah, it seems like something out of a damn video game. Suddenly we're reading Quake. A railgun that you can tote around, shaped like a 6-shooter, with an alternate universe Batman? I don't fucking think so.
Sorry, I'm just not... I didn't miss the Milestone characters. I didn't need to see them again. I'm not ecstatic to see them again.
Nope. We'll have to see what... Now, I don't look too far ahead in these things, so I don't know who's taking over for McDuffie. But we'll just have to see where this goes. Because I think they're on another downturn. I really do.
Well,
I think Justice League is going to go way down again.
Metamorphose rejoining.
You know what? After all this, he might. You know, who they got left?
Isn't he an outsider right now?
Probably. I don't read that shit. My last issue of Star Wars Legacy.
And why is it your last issue?
Because I just don't give a flying fuck about these characters. Absolutely nothing made me care about any of them. I mean, yeah, the blue-haired chick is nice to look at, but that's not enough to carry a story.
That is a horrible sentence.
Well, it ain't.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in Star Wars Legacy or any Star Wars comic book at this point. I don't find any of the characters appealing. I don't find the storylines involving. There's a huge amount of dialogue.
Yeah, it's an incredibly talky book. Even for Ostrander, it's hugely talky.
No, I am
I
all
want a
set
bit
with
more
that one.
action. I need them to be in space. I need fighters. I need lightsabers. Cade obviously wasn't brought up right. Luke, clearly didn't teach his kids the way he was supposed to teach them, because then they would have passed on the lessons, and Cade wouldn't have been a giant douche.
Also, he has terrible table manners.
Well, that too. So
No, I don't care about this book. I don't care where it's going, and I don't enjoy it. That is not a great combination.
Yep, and that's why 37 is my last one. I hate to say it, I love my Star Wars. I want it to be more Star Wars-y. What do you think of the brand new Predator #1?
I think that if I had ever wanted to see the Predator versus the CIA, I was very wrong. And this comic book goes ahead and shows me how wrong I was.
Well, I don't mind bringing it back to a more rooty kind of Predator, where he's drawn to heat and conflict, and nobody knows really what's going on, and they just go to town and wipe out their prey.
You know what I didn't like? And this is a small thing, but it bothered me.
Yeah?
3 Predators.
Yeah, I would prefer just one.
Because 3 Predators is a province of Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, which cannot be handled here. There will never be a positive thing said about AVP except the video game. The video game was phenomenal. I loved the story. I loved the action. I loved the graphics.
I love eating your head off.
In the game.
Good point.
One of our greatest gaming moments ever.
When you fell out a window.
Yep. Firing as I fell backwards.
Because I scared the ever-loving bejesus out of you.
Falling right over the head of the third player in the game.
Who I then
just
ate.
didn't know what the fuck was going on.
And then I killed him.
I left. You ate him.
I'm a shitty video game player, but a great alien. Who knew? No, this was not... I didn't feel there was a point to revisit a Predator comic book, quite honestly. I remember reading the Predator miniseries.
Yeah.
That was vaguely the basis for Predator 2.
Right.
And not feeling there was a need for that. And this really just brought that back further.
I think if they give me more Predator culture...
Yeah, but Aliens has tried that a couple times in their comics, and I haven't really loved that either.
Yeah, but they don't really have a culture.
But they're bugs. What do you want from them?
Exactly. That's why it didn't work. You had to make up shit for something that should have been just a force of nature.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But
I'll get a few more of these. I like Dark
was
Horse.
not
I want to
impressed
support
with the first
Dark
issue.
Horse. Well, for you it wasn't.
which is what I said.
Yeah. And another one that didn't really interest you anywhere. Sergeant Rock, The Last Battalion, finally finished. 18 months after issue 1. No, it's not 18 months. It was just a long time.
Nope.
Tucci still pleases the hell out of me with the art.
He's a great artist. I did like... One thing I really liked was how the artist in the storyline used the old school Kubert style
Yes.
to draw the current Tucci style as if he was telling the story.
I could have dealt with a little more action. Actually, this one, this particular issue's got a bit more action than the last. But seeing 50 grenades being thrown at once was pretty impressive.
Particularly since you didn't see anything happen other than that.
Well, it's a dramatic moment. You don't need to see that particular payoff. Am I right?
It was a solid book. I wasn't hugely impressed. I would have liked to see more World War II action and less let's remember how we felt during World War II.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he was highly influenced by a band of brothers
Oh, yeah. Who
Without-
not these days?
without actually letting anybody get shot.
Well, except for the nameless members of the 442. They got slaughtered wholesale. All they wanted to do was rescue the other group.
What I did find interesting, though, was you had all these of the survivors. You had your core rock group, which is obviously Led Zeppelin. You had Sure Shot, Bulldozer, Wildman, Ice Cream Soldier, Rock,
Right.
and then
But Ice Cream Soldier bought it.
no,
Well, somebody bought it. You sure? Okay. Don't glare at me, you prick.
and then you had that weird gunner with the sunglasses who survives the whole thing.
And then they do the normal, at the end of it all, everybody did this, and I felt this way, and huge paragraphs of text.
And Barney Sakai died and got the Congressional Medal of Honor. No, it was a decent book. It was far better than Storing Paradise, but it didn't. It wasn't the Sergeant Rock book I wanted to read.
Nah. What can I tell you?
And we were long round and short round and worrywart and
And you know their names far better than I do. Almost ready to finish up. We're almost done. We're closing in on the end of the pile.
oh, what else we got?
We got Thor 602. Yeah? Thoughts?
What the fuck?
What now?
We've got a convenience store clerk dating a Valkyrie, fighting gods. We've got all of the Norse mythos living in Latveria. We've got Heimdall just hanging out staring because they didn't have a bridge to stare at. We've got Balder making a deal with the devil that he doesn't seem to fully understand despite being smarter than anyone living. We've got Donald Blake's ability as a mystical being to see dead people. We've got Sif living in a 90-year-old woman. We've got Thor using his own soul to fix his broken hammer thanks to Doctor Strange, who's no longer the master of mystical arts. We have Thor smacking sticks and rocks together to fly because his hammer is no longer there. There's a lot going on in this book, and most of it is not that good.
No, I wholly disagree with you on this. Moving to Latveria was totally explained. I mean, Oklahoma was not accommodating to a seer. I mean, it's a devil's deal, sure, but I mean, it's not like a bunch of Norse gods. As long as there weren't a whole shitload of Doom bots or a time platform, it's not like they couldn't hold their own against Doom.
Why are they there?
Because they like it better because it's woodsy and cold.
Why are they there? Where is Asgard?
It was in Oklahoma.
Why is it in Oklahoma?
That is something that happened before number 1 of this series. It got moved there at the end of Ragnarok. Which
Well,
somehow they got rid of, even though they're supposed to die all wholesome. There's not supposed to be any Asgardians left afterwards.
to paraphrase Steve Martin in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. Are you fucking kidding me?
I was concerned about it when I first heard that Asgard was now hovering over Tulsa. I was incredibly concerned.
I don't know. Ragnarok and Tulsa have the same kind of sound to them.
What?
Hey, you wouldn't want it in Cleveland. That's all I'm saying.
You're not making any sense.
Neither is this.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. I need my JMS. I don't know what else to tell you.
John Michael Stewart.
J. Michael Straczynski.
Oh.
I'm doing fine with it. You know, I wish it would move a bit quicker.
Or
I wish it would be on time every once in a while.
Look, to my way of thinking, Thor is the most impossible book to write.
601 was so fucking late, I didn't even know it came out and it sold out.
Super.
Yeah, exactly.
But Thor is an impossible book to write. You've got Norse gods, you've got Marvel mythology mixing with old school mythology. You've got so many different aspects of it. Heimdall, Fafnir, Tyr, some of the dumbest names known to man. You've got to compete with Kirby. Like, there's no... writing that book is basically asking to get booed if you're not Walt Simonson or Jack Kirby.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
And I'm sorry, JMS is writing a solid book that I don't particularly care for. Is it horrible? No. But am I dying to see what's going... will Doom fuck the gods somehow? Yes, he will. Will it seem like a dumb plan? Yes, it will. Will the dumbass friggin' gasoline employee now living be involved? Yes, he will.
Will he beget a little half-Aesir child? Almost certainly.
I don't know. You know, who gets laid in a JMS book?
Wait. You gotta figure.
All right.
He wouldn't have followed her all the way to Latveria if she wasn't giving it up.
No, you wouldn't have followed her all the way to Latveria. He was from Tulsa. He would have followed her for decent weather and a radio channel. And he got neither.
Do you even want to talk about X-Men Forever?
Well, we have to. It's got Sabretooth, so it must be awesome.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you keep thinking that. Alright, so Wolverine falls from the sky or whatever the fuck happened here. And he's nothing left but his adamantium skeleton and a beard, which doesn't make any kind of fucking sense. Why is his beard still there when his skull is so hot it's still fucking glowing?
Wow. That was my number one problem with the book, too.
Absolutely. Oh, no, it wasn't. You're a lying sack of shit. So, what's your biggest problem with the book? Single biggest.
That it exists.
I knew it.
I'm sorry. Again, I come back to the fact that this is a book that is not necessary. This is a Claremont masturbating over the last 15 years of X-Men going, well, none of that matters because I haven't been writing it. Here's what I would have been writing. Oh, and by the way, everyone remember, when I was writing last time, Gambit was awesome. The fact that he's been a douchebag that no one likes for 15 years is inexplicable. Also, Rogue is a major character again.
Yeah, I gave it its due. I read the first one. I was like, all right, we'll give it a chance. And then this one came in, and I'm like, there's absolutely nothing new, innovative, or even vaguely woohoo about this. So Storm drags Wolverine, Saber. God damn, how are you?
Fine. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm not really talking anything at this point. Storm drags Sabretooth into the danger room. Like, nobody could have figured out the danger room was going to figure into the whole goddamn story. She goes to town on him. He falls. They lock him up. Well, no, they don't. He's blind at this point. Until he heals real soon. Because he can smell him. So he can fight him. Crap. Utter crap.
I'm just waiting for after this storyline when Arcade and Captain Britain show up following the
You know what? If Arcade shows up, I'll give it another go. Arcade could be fun.
You're a freak.
You love Arcade. What are you talking about?
It's an 8-pound man boy who kills people with giant robotic video games. It's something out of The Last Starfighter, except with a friggin' flower in his lapel.
Amusement parks. You're all about that. You've told me on many occasions. What could be better than killing someone with an amusement park? That has come out of your mouth.
Almost verbatim, I'll give you. But, again, that was 15 damn years ago. No,
that was at least 25 years ago.
This is Claremont, and this is what Claremont does. He takes things he does well and carries them to the nth degree. I don't
and
miss
never
Warwolves.
finishes a damn plot line. Warwolves.
I don't miss Jamie Braddock in his friggin' male diaper
Ew.
recreating humanity.
Yuck.
Or what was that giant alien woman and her...
You got me, man. I don't remember that shit.
all that Excalibur nonsense.
Yeah, it got way fucking weird at the end there.
The crime boss that turns into a fox. Vixen.
Right. So let's finish up tonight with Wonder Woman 33. Finally finishing Genocide and Rise of the Olympian. So Wonder Woman, whose ass has been thoroughly handed to her, flies in on her great big scallop shell.
I have no comment.
And suddenly there's sea monsters everywhere, which really wasn't explained very well to me. Maybe I gotta reread it. I don't know, but where the fuck did the sea monsters come from?
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
They came from
The deep?
the sea.
Alright, that's just dumb.
Hey, I didn't write it. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, but why were they there? Were they following her from where? All the way from fucking Boston? Or whatever?
Poseidon's son, who used to sail with Jason and the Argonauts, and now has teamed up with...
The new Olympian.
No, what it was the evil god there.
Ares.
He brought them. Was it Ares?
Yeah.
Well, that makes it worse, because I'm going to jump ahead because this bothered me to no end. The big final battle is her jumping up in the air, hitting Ares in the head once, and him dying. On what planet is that not retarded?
Yeah, that's essentially it right there. Axe through the head, done. Really? And then everybody just looks around and the sea monsters go away and Zeus has an argument and she punches him out and she renounces her Amazonian birthright again. And they find a little chunk of some kind of genocide idol in the water or wherever it was. Persepolis is just... What?
One of the evil Amazons let out of prison to help protect the queen from the horrible sea monsters adopts the ugly statue as her new daughter, thereby recreating that villainess in a later date.
Yes.
This was a horrible book.
I'm hoping someone can pull it out next month.
You've been hoping people will pull it out for years now.
I've been hoping to pull it out for people for years. Well, kids, I'm sure we could have been a little bit funnier tonight, but I'm very fucking tired. So if you didn't dig it, there's 3 of you out there, so deal.
In my defense, I really don't care.
We are all about just having fun, and essentially, this is exactly how we talk to each other if we were on like a road trip talking about comics. We'd have our differences, and we'd drop the F-bomb several fucking times.
Which we did.
At any rate, it's time to go. It's 11:30. We've had our drinks, and I got to work in the morning. So, stay geeky, motherfuckers.
It's such a fine line between stupid and clever. Yeah,
It's just a little turnabout.
Yeah.